The owners and operators of Northeast Farm, forest products, and commercial fishing businesses make tremendous contributions to our communities every day. They work in fields and forests, agriculture and aquaculture, from farm homes to farm stores. They are the customer owners of Farm Credit East, and they have a lot to say about farming and farm credit.
Expansion opportunities.
My dad had a vision to create
purchases. The labor was a big thing.
To divest of our dairy.
Major changes in our business.
My name is John Nunes from Newport Vineyards. I'm the owner here with my brother Paul, and we've been in business for 22 years here just north of Newport, Rhode Island. We expect to bring in about 300 tons of grapes this year and bottle about 30,000 cases of wine, so we'll be quite busy. And what really makes us successful is we have agriculture located right near the ocean, which protects our grapes, and we also have about 4 million tourists a year coming to Newport, Rhode Island, so we call it agritourism at its best. And they want to see and taste, they want to know everything about your operation. So we really don't have what they call a back of house here. Everything is exposed to the visitor, and that's what we like. The relationship with Farm Credit over the years has been a terrific two-way street. We've grown with them and they've grown with us, and they understand the challenges potentially with agriculture and the cycles that you might go through. And we've been fortunate over the last few years to grow, and without the capital from Farm Credit and the way the relationship has worked, it would have been a little bit more of a challenge. So we're happy to be here today.
I'm Kurt Alstead, and I'm the founder, owner, general manager of Alstead Farms. We're a first-generation farm business in Chester, New Jersey. We are fruit and vegetable growers, and our business is very unique in that we produce over 600 acres of fruits, vegetables, and everything that we produce is sold directly to the consumer through our own farm store, through Pick Your Own, through a CSA, and through farmers markets throughout northern New Jersey and New York City. I started farming in 1982, and in 1984 I secured my first loan, and it was with Farm Credit. And I was amazed at how easy it was for a young kid who had just started farming to go in and secure some operating financing for the farm operation. And from there the relationship grew and into larger operating loans, equipment purchases. We use their accounting services, their tax preparation services, and their business consulting services. Another valuable service that we really enjoy participating in with Farm Credit East is the Ag Retail Benchmark Program. One of the things we found was it was difficult to be able to evaluate business health. Farm Credit created the Ag Retail Benchmark Program, where we were able to communicate and share and interact with growers from throughout the Northeast that have very similar business models. But even more important, it's given us the opportunity to share financial data and to establish real-life, real-time benchmarks so that we can properly evaluate farm profitability.
My name is Kim Glia. I work at the Garden Barn Nursery in Vernon, Connecticut. We've been here as a family-owned business since 1978. My dad started managing it here. He purchased it with my mother in 1981. We are a retail operation. We grow outside on ½ an acre and inside on 3/4 of an acre. That's actually what my father does now, considering now that my brother and I have taken over the day-to-day retail operations and my mother runs the office. Farm Credit over the years has helped my parents, but the true help started when we decided to tear down our original facility and rebuild into what you see here today. This is a probably 6-stage process, from greenhouse to pavilion to the growing facility, and they've helped each step along the way. When I actually came into the business, I didn't like that they were using another accounting service because I felt that it caused too much stress on my parents because they just didn't understand our business. Since we have changed over and worked pretty much solely with Farm Credit East for accounting and loaning, my mother's life has gotten a lot easier. Her relationship with Jason and Michelle over the years has truly taken a lot off my mother's plate. So for that, we're all grateful.
My name's Kriss Gargiulo. I'm the owner of the Katuitt Oyster Company. I've been the owner since 2004. And the Katuitt Oyster Company has operated lease sites here in Katuitt Bay since the late 1800s. Basically, what we do is we take small oyster seed and quahog seed and we grow it to maturity and then sell it to our customers when it's legal size. Farm Credit East understands farming, whether it's on land or in the water. I approached Farm Credit East back in 2004 when I needed to make much needed improvements to my building and to my dock. They helped me with the working capital I needed to make those improvements to our business. And we've been partnering with them ever since. Just like in land-based farming, oyster growers have to buy oyster seed every year in the spring. And we buy that oyster seed usually at a time when cash flow is at its lowest. So Farm Credit East is there to help us through that time, to help us carry on with our business, buy our seed, and move on for the next season.
My name is Jenny Cohn. I'm a fifth-generation farmer at Kriss Brothers Orchards in Walden, New York, here in the Hudson Valley. Our farm was originally purchased in 1883, the original piece of the home farm, by my great-great-grandfather and grandmother. We farm about 550 acres of apples. We're replanting heavily to new varieties, including New York Snapdragon and Ruby Frost, and also now the new apple Koru from New Zealand. Farm Credit has been our lender for a long time. In 2010, we had a major expansion of our packing house, including a building addition as well as major equipment purchases. It was the biggest expansion our company has ever done, and Farm Credit was our lender through that. We work very closely with them on tax planning to make sure that we're making the best business decisions we can. We also have really appreciated their advice on generational transfer, and we're starting to plan for the transition from my parents to my brother and I. Farm Credit really understands that some years are better than other years. It's not easy to have several good years in a row in farming, and so it's been really important that they work with us and look at the long-term trend when it comes to decision making.
My name's Rick Janiga, and I'm president and owner of R&D Janiga Enterprises along with my wife Lucille. And R&D Janiga is also partners with Corey Miller in Summit Dairy LLC. It's a new venture designed to transition the dairy portion of R&D Janiga to Corey as he grows his business. Farm Credit has been instrumental in getting us started. Today they're helping us with Corey. We put a plan together, set up a business structure, did the numbers, and helped us have a successful start to a transition.
We had a loan officer in common at the time, and he knew the goals of each operation. We wanted to expand our dairy, and we knew that Rick and Lucy wanted to maybe get away from the day-to-day operations of the dairy. And he introduced us and then kind of guided us through the process of how this all could work together and what that might look like. And the plan was that my wife and I, we would buy the herd from Janiga's over time, but when we went into this downturn in the dairy industry, there wasn't adequate excess cash flow to accomplish that goal. And so it evolved into looking at other opportunities or other ways of how we could accomplish that. What does it look like at running both facilities, or maybe forming a partnership and consolidating, and how that looked. And that's eventually what we ended up doing, is we formed a partnership and consolidated facilities.
I've had the privilege of serving on the Farm Credit East Board of Directors for several years, and I see today not only does it help us as individuals, but I see the value of the Farm Credit system for rural America. The mission is as relevant today as it's ever been, and I look forward to Farm Credit being there through the rest of our career, certainly, and way into the next generations.
The customer owners of Farm Credit are as diverse as the jobs they do and the goods they produce, but their commitment to success and the future are very much the same. They have a lot to say, but the message is clear. And at Farm Credit East, we're always here, listening to every single word.